Good morning, good morning, good morning, you lovely lot. It is Thursday, the last working day of my week. I have Virginia coming over to hang out with us this morning. It's very frosty and very cold out there again today. There is frost on everything. I am warming up the playroom. I've got 2 heaters going in there. Fly, shoo. Kenzie still has a slight temperature. What I've also done is ordered a new thermometer, just to be on the safe side, because that one I've had for, well, since the beginning of lockdown, and it was used daily, and it's a Braun thermometer. It's a good brand, you know, it's a well-made, you know, a well-recognised brand, and it does tend to give different readings, but I've heard that's normal, having different readings in different ears. But I just want to make sure, I mean, he does, you know, he feels pretty rubbish, so, but the temperature drops down and then it kind of, sometimes it's either just above normal or it's over 38, usually if he's done something strenuous, like, you know, when he went and did that bit at school for 2 days this week, for two lessons this week. But yeah, it's not a high temperature. I've checked that he doesn't have an infection anywhere obvious. For example, you know, I've said to him, you haven't got anything that looks infected, that's a bit achy, you know, like I don't know, an ingrown hair somewhere or something that could be infected. And he's like, no. So, yeah, we'll just see what happens, really. It's definitely not high, but it seems wrong to try and even send him to school with the temperature. And he does have a doctor's appointment on Monday, so if things aren't any better by then, I'll get them to deal with him. Say, right, why has he had a temperature since Thursday? Anyway, that's enough whiffle waffle. I'm going to drink some tea, and the kids will be arriving any moment. Someone's very happy and chatty and singy. Right, I need to put laundry in the tumble dryer and put another load on. And sort between what goes in the tumble dryer and what does not go in the tumble dryer. I've got waterworks issues. Let me show you. It's very personal. This tap has been dripping for a while, but now when I do this, we have like a split or something here, and it's also coming up from here. And then it just dribbles for ages and does that. So we've got our friend Damien, the guy who comes and sorts everything for us because he's awesome, to come and deal with this issue, and he's going to go and get us a new tap and fit a new tap for us. So all this was loose and this is all leaking. All at the back up there, that was all loose, so that's been leaking. This is sodden all the way through, so this is peeling off, and I noticed this was peeling off but didn't make a connection. Everything he pulled out of here was just covered in water. I've binned a whole black bin bag of cloths and stuff that are clearly no good anymore because they're mouldy. This whole thing needs a bleach, and this needs, it's so swollen, it needs to dry out, so I might put a heater facing in that way, and start to dry it out as best I can. And I'll have to get some of those crystals as well, but he's going to sort all of this out, and he's gone to get this done as well, because this is where it's all broken. It's all just falling apart here, but these have started to not work very well, so he's getting a whole new set for us. We have new taps. We have the heater trying to dry this out. He's silicone sealed this back on. He's changed some of the piping in there, and we're just letting this dry out now because it's obviously very wet and disgusting and we don't want it stinking of damp, so that's what we're doing. And then I can clean it because it's pretty gross in there. He said we were so lucky because basically the copper pipe, which is now changed for that flexi pipe there, when he took this off, literally it fell out the bottom. The copper pipe fell out the bottom. He said we are so lucky we did not come downstairs to a completely flooded kitchen, and all the inside of this on the old tap was rusted. The whole thing had just deteriorated. It was a mess, and which is obviously then why it was rusting into here, because there was water sat in it constantly. And yeah, he said we were really lucky. He can't believe it didn't just pop at some point, and it's been like that for a while, he said, because all of this inside was rusted. So there's our sparkly new tap. I'm going to give this a quick clean and then put the stuff back on top. Hey! These two are so funny. We're having a little bit of outdoor play before we go and have a nap. Bit of fresh air. This is a very random meal. I've got one of my Moroccan lentil stews, which is all bean and chickpea and lentils. Then I've got a couple of these cream cheese things which need using, so I've thrown those in to melt in there. The last bit of Edam left over from Christmas, last little bit of guacamole that needs using, and a bit of creme fraiche. That's going to be my lunch. Well done, Harrison. Well done, Harrison. Yeah, look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. Focus. Oh my goodness, you star! Yay! Did it!
Found a dinosaur tooth. Found a dinosaur tooth.
Oh, so how does this dinosaur go together? Oh, that's a tooth, is it?
And this is the leg of one.
Okay. So you've managed to find quite a lot of bones then?
I gave Malone that.
Which one?
That one.
Very good. Is that like a hip?
Him the tooth.
Is that like a hip bone or something?
No, that's the joint of his
Oh, the
hip.
joint. That's a great reconstruction there that you're doing. A really good reconstruction.
I found him too.
You found some bones too, Christopher?
Yeah.
Well done, you. I need to go out the front now and get a meter reading. Oh, Lee and Brendan have just arrived from our electricity board, because they now think I only owe them £10 a month in electric, which can't be right. Tea, Kenzie bear? Yes, please.
Mother,
Yes.
want to hear a joke?
Do you want to hear a joke?
Yeah. Some dark humour.
Dark humour? How dark is it?
Not.
Who's there?
Joe.
Joe. Very good.
Joe Mama.
Very good. Anyone else for tea while I'm making tea? And then I'll come and talk to you. I think my eldest son has stolen my seat, despite me telling him he was to not nick my spot.
Hello there.
Are you comfortable?
You said get off the seat.
This is my seat and you stole it.
I was in here first.
I told you I was coming here first, so shift.
I have shifted.
Your hand's kind of in my way. And you're being noisy in my space. Shoo. Shoo. Shoo.
Copyright strike.
Shoo. Good evening, you lovely lot. I nearly choked on that. I have been having a giggle with my eldest son. He does make me laugh a lot. I mean, both my boys make me laugh, but there's just something about random conversations with Brendan. They're conversations I don't have with anybody else. And they're usually quite brain taxing. We've discussed science and different words in different languages and how words are constructed. Oh, you know, we've had some, but we always end up having a giggle over whatever it is we've discussed. So that was nice. He's just done his driving lesson. He's come back and he's hanging out with me, and we've just had maybe 45 minutes of chit chat, which is lovely. I want to show you this lovely gift from one of my lovely viewers, Diane Collins. Thank you, I love it. It's called the Herbal Witches, Remedies and Potions book, and it has some basic guidelines at the front there about tinctures and infused oils and bits and bobs, and then it's got some measurements and conversions, which is very helpful. And then it has many pages and bullet points and what have you for so this would be like the ingredients and the name of what I want to make, and then on the other side you would then write notes like how to mix it, or whether it's a hot infusion or a cold infusion, that kind of thing, anything you might want to change. And I guess I could come back and make notes if I felt that something looked great to start with but maybe didn't work as well, or I don't know, just changes that I would want to make, or notes from having used the potions, recipes, whatever it is you want to call it. But it's basically the same thing. You're putting intention into natural ingredients to create something wonderful. Jackie and I have been texting back and forth with our plans for tomorrow's hike. I've had to change my park up location for Spog. He's going to be our end point, because we like to have Spog at the end of our hike and Jackie's car at the beginning of our hike, because Spog's got the toilet, he's got the teapot, he's got the hot water, he's got the heater if we get cold. So we know we have this perfectly lovely, cosy, big space, spare clothes, all that kind of stuff that we might need in Spog at the end point. But the car park I was planning on parking in has got a height barrier, so I've had to look for an alternative parking spot. Oh, excuse me. So I'll be leaving at about 9 o'clock in the morning. I've got a bit of a drive to get to our starting point, but I'm very much looking forward to this beginning part of the new series of hikes that I'm going to do with Jackie. It will have its own playlist, and it will be called the Thames Path Hikes. So keep your eye out for regular videos along that theme or on that theme. So I spoke to you just a bit before this about having to get a meter reading. I'd had an email saying I owed £10, not owed £10, I was only going to be paying £10 for my electric. Now, to put this into perspective, we don't have gas, we only have electric in this village, or people buy oil. Now, our entire everything is powered by electric in this house. So, we don't have solar panels. So, £10 for cooking, heating, lighting, everything we do is not right in my head. I'm thinking there's something wrong there. I haven't been able to give meter readings. The last meter reading I gave was in August, and I literally wrote down every number that I found on my meter and sent it to them, because it just kept coming up with lots of different numbers. Every time I pressed a button, more numbers appeared. So I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, that's why I rang them. I took a list of the numbers, which you saw me doing, and then I rang them, and I was on hold for ages. Finally got through to a really lovely lady and explained the situation to her. And she said, okay, right, well, we'll have a look at that. And then she went quiet and she said, can I just take your security details? Like, make sure you are who you are. Yes. Right. I just want to check what I'm seeing is right. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. Then she goes quiet, and then she says, have you looked at your bill recently? And I said, no, I haven't. I never look at my bill, to be honest. I just pay what I'm recommended to pay, because I'm a bit like that. And she went, okay, you have £2,000 in credit. And I'm like, nice, okay. So I have 3 accounts, or 3 lines, or whatever you'd call it. I have one for nighttime, one for daytime, and then this random third one, which I didn't ask what it was for, but it's a random third one. The random third one I only use like £8 a month on, so I'm not entirely sure what that does. but the other one is night and day because it's economy 7. It's cheaper to use the fuel, the electric at night. So putting the washing on like in the evening and putting the tumble dryer on at night, all that kind of stuff is cheaper than having it on in the day. So she said, you're £2,008 in credit, and I use like 130 something pounds a month, and I was paying 140 something, I believe. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and before that I was paying like 230 something, I believe, at one point. So they've slowly knocked it down, and anyway, I'm £2,008 in credit. Then she happened to look onto the other one to take the second reading and went, you're 340 something pounds in credit on this account. And I was like, oh, so now we're at, you know, for 2,300 and something pounds in credit. And then partway through the conversation, she said, I'm saying, well, you know, it gives me this third reading and I don't understand what that's for. And then she was like, oh no, there is a third account. No, hold on a minute. So that's the one that's the £8 one. So she looks at that and she went, you only use £8 a month on this. Now the minimum amount that they take is £10 a month. And I'd got 400 and something pounds in that account in credit. So even if they'd knocked it down to minimum payment, I'd still be accruing money. I'd never get through it. I'd still be. So she's like, would you like some refunded? So I said, I'd like refund from that one. I'll have 200 and something pounds out of that one. We'll get it down to 200 because in April, everyone's expecting a huge hike in the cost of energy in general, potentially up to 50%. There's going to be a massive increase, like a massive price hike. So I've got a buffer. So I said, I'll take 200 and whatever, round it up, and that'll bring that down. And then when there's a price hike, it'll slowly start using it up. And then I said, and on the other accounts, I'll just leave it and I'll pay £10 a month, which is the minimum. And eventually it'll eat that down on both those accounts. Because, I mean, I could take it back, but then I've already paid it. And okay, it's giving them interest, you know, it's in their account, not mine. But what it'd do is I'd end up going, oh, I can buy this or I can buy that. And it'd just be pointless, or I don't know. And I could put it in savings, but if I've paid it out to them, they may as well have it. And then I know I only have to pay £10 a month for the foreseeable future. And you never know what's going to happen. You never know if, you know, I could get COVID next week and feel rubbish for the next 2 months, not earn any money, but at least I know my electric's paid. So I've gone with that. You know, that's just, you know, an example. I could break my leg and be off for 6 weeks and not get paid. And the biggest bill, apart from food, that I pay as my contribution to this household, the biggest 2 bills is the electric and the food. So at £10 a month now, I don't need to worry about any of that. It's covered. It's covered. So that was she was like, I'm glad I could give you good news. And I'm like, you're lovely, you are. I said, you have a lovely evening. So yeah, my email was correct. And I've had some money transferred back into my account, which at the end of this month will be used when my tax bill direct debit's gone out. So that's worked out really, really well. Everything works for a reason, I think. I've been very lucky today, actually. It has been. In fact, Damien told me I probably should have gone and got a lottery ticket, because how we hadn't got a flooded kitchen is beyond him. He has no idea. He touched that thing and it fell out. He said the pressure of the water should have made that copper pipe fall out, and we should have had a swimming pool in our kitchen, and it didn't happen. And he has no idea how that hasn't happened, because it's been rotting away, he said, for quite some time, and leaking bit by bit for quite some time, and how it hasn't blown completely was beyond him. He's never seen anything like it. So there you go. Clearly today is my lucky day. I didn't buy a lottery ticket, but in some ways I've won the lottery today, haven't I? Because I've had £2,000 of my electric paid for the next year. Well, 2,500-ish paid, and a refund. So I'm feeling pleased with today. Feeling very pleased. Anyway, I think I might have just doubled the vlog because I think it was only about 10 minutes long. Thank you very much for watching, you lovely lot, and I'll see you all tomorrow.